Alright, welcome back to Make It Mental, everybody. Here's a video I don't think I've ever covered before. And that might be where to make your arches for steering in a vehicle that has never had steering before, such as this Ironman Camaro. So if we look carefully, we can get some brightness here. See if we can brighten it up a little bit more. And we move this wheel in, we can see that touches somewhere in this point. So we're going to have to use our imagination and pretend to draw an arc. Then up here, we see that touches just to the inside of this raised area right here. So we're going to have to cut an arc. That being said, this is where the body rests. Right along this arch right here. So this vehicle, more than likely, is going to suffer a lack of steering. More than likely. We don't know yet because there are multiple compound curves in this body. These little plastic nubs right here can be sanded off and sanded off. There's really not too much more to do to the body. So this is going to be one of those cases where it is what it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can do it as much as you can, and then it's done. So there's an example of the Tamiya, on the bottom side of the Tamiya chassis there. All I did here is I put the wheel hub assembly on there, and then I just basically drew an arc, then to the inside of the wheel, saw where it was touching, and I drew an arc. I just used my imagination. There is no measurements involved. And I did the same thing on the other side, but I actually made a cardboard cutout, and once I got one that worked appropriately, where I thought it was good enough for steering, all I did was I flipped that cardboard template over, and then I traced it onto the metal chassis. And so I have a somewhat symmetrical steering for the Tamiya, and the same with the Corvette here that you are looking at. That's how I achieved that, even though, because they're cut by hand, they're not perfect, right? But they do function. And I can't turn this one because that servo is pretty strong, but that's pretty easily done. This one here, depending on the car you're working with, this may or may not work to how you desire it to work. So keep that in mind. Don't be disappointed. You have to work within the boundaries that are given to you, that you have to work with, and make the best of it. So this Camaro may turn like a semi-truck by comparison to the Corvette or to the Tamiya. It may need a full 4 foot to make that turn. Who knows? But we're going to find out pretty soon here. So keep that in mind. Don't get down on it. Just work with it, and then in your next build, see if you can pick out a different vehicle that has a different solution. So from what I'm seeing right here, vehicles with a very small front end, such as this Avengers Camaro right here, there's just not a lot of room to work with, especially since it's being metal. If it was plastic, I could probably cut some of it off and sand it down and add a new piece, but since it's metal, there's not a lot of wiggle room there. It just kind of is what it is. All right, have a good day, y'all.